This week's episode of The Bad Batch was finally another Crosshair episode, and it did not disappoint, so let's get right into it. Titled The Outpost, Episode 12 of Season 2 started on Coruscant, with Crosshair overhearing several clones complain about the forced retirement the Empire is imposing on them. Escorted by Captain Bragg, she informs them they can direct any questions to the Imperial Information Bureau. Crosshair is approached by his new commanding officer, Lieutenant Nolan, who does not hide his disdain for clones and considers them used equipment. This Imperial anti-clone mentality is what Commander Cody's discussion with Crosshair centered around earlier this season in Episode 3. He posed a thought-provoking question to Crosshair, asking whether the Empire was truly improving the galaxy, and it was his distinction that clones were not battle droids because they had to live with the decisions they made that caused Crosshair to reevaluate his blind obedience to orders. The Empire's official stance on clone soldiers has been made clear to Crosshair, first by Vice Admiral Rampart, and now by Lieutenant Nolan. Back to this episode, Crosshair and team depart for an outpost on Barton 4 that is storing high-value cargo. Arriving on the icy planet, the Imperial outpost appears deserted. Here we meet Mayday, the clone commander in charge of guarding the outpost. Mayday is relieved as he believes Nolan's team to be the reinforcements who were supposed to relieve his team 36 cycles ago. As Nolan and Crosshair inspect the outpost, they find the equipment is failing due to the extreme weather, and what is essentially a shrine of clone trooper helmets of Mayday's squad mates that have died to raiders. Mayday and his team have been protecting this cargo for over a year with limited resources, and all requests for equipment and personnel have been ignored by the Empire. The raiders launch a surprise attack, stealing some cargo crates and killing Mayday's last 2 squad members. Furious that Mayday allowed the cargo to be stolen, Lieutenant Nolan orders Mayday to retrieve the crates. When Mayday counters that there's no manpower or equipment to successfully complete that mission, Nolan demands that Crosshair and Mayday retrieve the crates. Setting out through the snow and ice, the two discover a cave the raiders are using to bypass the outpost perimeter sensors. Entering the cave, they discover the body of a raider wearing the armor of one of Mayday's squad members. Commenting that it disturbs him that the other raiders just left the body behind, Mayday is shocked at Crosshair's response that there is no point in carrying dead weight, to which Mayday mentions he does not want to die on Crosshair's watch. As the two continue deeper into the cave, Crosshair steps on a pressure mine. Mayday attempts to disarm it, and the two talk about the brothers they have lost and how there are so few clones left. This is the moment I think Crosshair really started to regret his time in the Empire and leaving Clone Force 99 behind. After defusing the mine safely, the two keep going through the cave and come upon the raiders' base. The two soldiers quickly scan the area and then attack. In the ensuing fight, one of the raiders attempts to flee on a speeder with the stolen crates, but Crosshair easily eliminates him with a well-placed sniper shot. With the cargo safely out of the base, Crosshair targets a crate of pressure mines, destroying the base and everyone in it. Trekking through the snow to the speeder, they discover that during the crash, the crates spilled their contents of new stormtrooper armor. For a year, Mayday and his team have been protecting this cargo with failing equipment and limited supplies, but now he discovers they had been protecting the very equipment they desperately needed, and the Empire didn't care to let them know despite all their requests. Suddenly, an avalanche triggered by Crosshair's explosion is racing towards them. Losing his helmet in the chaos, Crosshair survives and finds a severely damaged Mayday. For just a moment, Crosshair considers leaving his brother behind, but then carries Mayday through an ice storm and back to the outpost. As they arrive, they discover Nolan supervising the loading of the cargo onto a transport for shipment to the Empire. Calling for a medic, Nolan refuses Crosshair and watches Mayday die, stating the clone had lived out his usefulness. As the lieutenant returns to overseeing the loading of the crates, Crosshair calls to Nolan, and as his commanding officer turns, Crosshair kills the man just before passing out. When he wakes, he finds himself strapped to a table in a lab. Approached by Dr. Emery Carr, she sedates him and informs him that only his cooperation will allow him to survive. We finally got an episode that is moving the story forward again. Crosshair has clearly seen the error of his ways in trusting the Empire, and now finds himself where we can only assume is Mount Tantus. As an anomaly in the Kaminoan cloning program, he would be of great importance to Dr. Hemlock and his cloning research for the Empire. He's also a connection to Omega that Hemlock and his team can use to entice Nala Se with cooperating in his research, as he attempted in the previous episode. With only 4 episodes left in this season, we should start seeing more answers, but will most definitely be presented with more questions. Until we get those episodes, we can only speculate, so if you're watching The Bad Batch, feel free to drop your thoughts and theories in the comments. And for more Star Wars content, check out one of these videos on the screen now.